Hello Taurus, I'm Poetic Heretic, and this is your July 2017 Tarot Forecast. Do remember, you can use these videos for your sun, rising, and moon signs. So, let us begin. We would like a Celtic Cross forecast for the sign of Taurus for the month of July 2017. Let's see what we get. What is in store for Taurus for July 2017? And the cards are ready. Your outside influences, the Eight of Cups. The challenge, the devil. The underlying energy, the Tower reverse. Wow, you guys are getting some intense stuff right off the bat here. This could go a couple different ways. We'll see what the other cards have to say. The past, the Nine of Cups reversed. Okay, so far it looks like this month you're leaving behind some kind of difficult situation. Or it could even be that you're trying to leave it behind, but you're not sure if you can. Something that has been disturbing you or bothering you for some time. What else could we say about that with this Eight of Cups energy here? You're feeling like you can give no more energy to a situation, or like you've just done all that you can do. Things around you are encouraging you to perhaps go off by yourself. Sometimes in a negative sense, this card can mean having unrealistic expectations, failure to learn from past mistakes, stuff like that. But let us see what else we have before we jump to any conclusions. What you hope to achieve, the Five of Wands. That's very interesting to have there. The near future, the Magician. Okay, so here it's taking a bit of an interesting turn. Well, the reason I say that it's interesting that you have the Five of Wands here and what you hope to achieve is because this is like saying that what you want to happen this month is the working together with others despite conflict and infighting. So it's almost like you know that there's tension, but you still want things to happen anyway. You still want to make progress, you still want to get work done regardless. And it's interesting that now the Magician is coming up, like saying that the month is taking a turn early on, perhaps being recreated. But let's see what else we have. Your attitude or position, the Ace of Swords reversed, the outside force coming in, Temperance reversed, hopes or fears, the Two of Wands, and the outcome, the World reversed. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is quite interesting energy. So yes, you're beginning with the Eight of Cups. This represents your current outside influences right around the beginning of the month. And this is a card, again, of saying that you feel like you can do no more. You can give no more energy to a situation. You've done all that you can do, and it's time for you to do what's right for you. And it's also a sign of understanding what is right for you emotionally and creatively, and kind of facing up to the reality of a situation. And of course we've got the Devil card coming right up here. So In a negative sense, though, it could be that you might not be able to get out of the situation so easily. You might feel chained to a situation, and some of you might not even realize what you're doing or what's happening. You might have unrealistic expectations of failure to learn from past mistakes, being given opportunities to change but not doing so, and just like impossible optimism, perhaps, and like not seeing the situation clearly, a sort of irrationality. So, I mean, it looks like what you want to do is first of all leave behind any unhealthy situations that you might be involved in, because of course, again, we have the devil card here showing up as the challenge card, and that's kind of what that's advising. That's essentially what that's advising. But for some of you, it could take on a different meaning or a different sort of situation where you want to assert your individuality and maintain your sense of uniqueness and have strong boundaries between yourself and others. And that could be what you're feeling at the beginning of the month, that it's just time for you to separate yourself from others and have those strong boundaries and assert your individuality and do what you need to do for you. Because of course, with the devil card, it does have positive aspects. It is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is the planet of boundaries, of saying no, of saying that this is what makes me different from you. It's the planet of individuality. And going along with that, it's also the planet of order and structure and stability. And the devil card, in a positive sense, represents that as well. So that might be to your advantage this month too, to sort of maintain order. So whatever advice that the cards are giving that resonates with you is the advice that you want to take, basically. For the underlying energy, you have the Tower reversed. This represents everything forming the foundation of your current situation. Well, speaking of order and structure, with the Tower card, and this would be true if it was upright or reversed, it could be saying that you feel like the order and structure is crumbling, that there is chaos, that things are crazy. However, because the Tower is reversed, we have to interpret it that way. And what could be going on here is, because you are finally realizing that you need to get away from this situation, whatever it happens to be, you have successfully avoided disaster, barely. You just narrowly avoided a disaster or an unwanted confrontation or something like that. Now, again, there could be a darker side to that, in that it could be saying that things around you are encouraging you not to change, and that goes right along with the darker side of the Eight of Cups. They could be encouraging you to not face up to what's happening, not face reality, not face the dark side, and not do what you need to do. So don't let that happen, of course. But yes, the good news is it looks like most of you are kind of avoiding the disaster, avoiding the collapse. Just barely, but you are avoiding it. And for others, just be wary of stuff like that, and step away from any unhealthy situation, and you should avoid the disaster. almost no matter what. So for the past and issues you've had to deal with, you have the Nine of Cups reversed. Well, when the Nine of Cups is reversed, it's talking about shattered faith and a loss of hope or the loss of faith in another person. It's talking about sadness, pessimism, disappointment, sorrow, things like that. It can also even be something that ended that did not turn out very well, that turned out in a disappointing way, like disappointing endings with it being a 9. So it's interesting because it's going right from the Nine of Cups reversed to the Eight of Cups in the present, from past to present. So almost like a backtracking in a sense, where this ending didn't turn out well. There was sadness and disappointment, and so now you're having to go off by yourself and redo something, a sort of transformative experience. And so, again, do what you have to do. For what you hope to achieve, you have the Five of Wands. Now, again, this is saying that this month you're wanting to make progress despite conflict and infighting. It is another indicator of the conflict, of the difficult situation, of the risk for disaster. But you're saying that you want to make progress anyway. You want people to at least be civil, even if there is tension beneath the surface. And so, again, that goes right along with what we've already gone over. For the near future, you have the Magician. Now, this is very interesting. And again, we have this idea of the individuality and asserting your individuality. The Magician talks about beginnings and openings and a new phase of life. And so as you go off by yourself, this could be that new beginning and opening. This is taking an unwanted situation and recreating it to suit your vision. This is using your mind to recreate a situation as you see fit, or using your mind to create your reality in general. It's having all the tools on the table that you need to do what you do. It's having all the skills and abilities to do what you need to do. Now, in a negative sense, this card can talk about having difficult tests and even impossible challenges early in the month. And I'm not going to lie, it might end up manifesting as that for some of you. But generally, the Magician is a very positive card, and so I think for the vast majority of you, this is where things kind of get recreated, even though I am seeing some more challenges later in the month. But nevertheless, again, the Magician is a very positive, powerful card almost all of the time. And it can also talk about seeing things from a different perspective, seeing life in a different way, seeing things in a new way. And again, we have this idea of the beginnings and openings, and a sort of synthesis and bringing together of opposites. The Magician is a very powerful card, and it represents mastery and someone who is able to create with their mind, who has the mental skill and mental ability to master their life. So a lot of energy with this card, but as it relates to this spread so far, I think this is where you're going to show that you have what it takes in whatever that you are doing, and as you assert your individuality. For your attitude or position on the situation, about halfway through the month, you have the Ace of Swords reversed. Well, this shows you feeling that you are at risk for making the wrong decisions and not seeing clearly. Now, you're only feeling this way, it's not necessarily what's actually happening, but you're feeling like you might not be seeing clearly. You're feeling uncertain about what decisions to make. You're feeling like you might be seeing things too subjectively or without enough mental clarity. And so that can contrast with the Magician card here. That energy might be wavering somewhat later in the month. But if you can unblock this energy and see clearly, like the Ace of Swords upright talks about, then it can prove quite advantageous, especially following the Magician card. For the outside force coming in, you have Temperance reversed. And when this card is reversed, it talks about bad luck and misfortune. Again, I've got to tell it like it is. And this is something coming at you. So be wary of that. As for what it is specifically, it is a bit difficult to say. But Temperance reversed, it's bad luck, it's misfortune, it's sadness, sorrow, pessimism. It can be like a spiritual crisis. It can be evil itself in extreme cases. So just be wary of stuff like that. The advice of this card when it's reversed is to focus on things like optimism, growth, prosperity, plenty, success. Focus on the meaning and purpose of life. Focus on philosophy, ideas, the realm of ideas, higher learning, education, knowledge, metaphysics, even religion and theology. Focus on all of that expansive and optimistic energy, and that will help you to sort of counteract or transmute that energy into what you want it to be. That is the advice of this card. For your hopes or fears, you have the Two of Wands. Well, the Two of Wands is the early stages in the series of wands, which talk about the will, which talk about action, fire, will, action. We're talking about success in two or more areas. We're talking about the beginnings of a project. We're talking about close interpersonal relationships. We're talking about having energy and a sort of initiation. And so again, we go back to the Magician card, and even the Ace of Swords to some extent as well, being a card of new beginnings. So with this showing up in your hopes or fears, you're saying that you're hoping to initiate something new. You're ready for something new, and you're hoping that you can get it moving along, essentially. You're hoping possibly again for success in two different areas, with this being the Two of Wands. Looking at different areas of your life and trying to pursue success in both of them, despite this other craziness that we have going on in this spread. The Two of Wands here, with it being a two, might even refer to wanting to get out of a relationship that is not quite working well, or that you feel chained to. That might be like more the fears or whatever, because with the Devil card coming up here, that can often be indicative of a difficult relationship that you feel chained to or trapped in or whatever, especially again when it's crossing over the Eight of Cups, which is talking about needing to go your own way. So that could be it as well, where the two is saying that either you're hoping to like repair the relationship, or you're hoping to get out of it and assert your individuality. And based on these cards here, I think it is most likely the latter, though it could be the former. For the outcome, you have the world reversed. So, the world reversed is talking about incompletion, which is interesting because we saw that you've possibly been dealing with that, or at least dealing with endings that did not turn out well. This is kind of similar energy to that, or something. Well, either an ending that does not turn out well, or something that is left incomplete, I would say. It's like, normally when the world card is upright, it's talking about celebration and joy and happiness, the ending of a cycle of life, a major life cycle. But when it's reversed, that energy is blocked, so it's like you're not quite there yet, or it's it has ended, but it didn't turn out the way that you wanted, or there's more work to be done. It could be delays, it could be travel difficulties, it could be an illness that just slows everything down. It could be falling into a sense of depression and sadness. I am bumping the cards now. And that sort of thing. But again, we have the advice from this card to focus on the upright positive meanings, which are, again, things like celebration and joy and happiness and harmony and completing the cycle, completing whatever it is that you're going for. So I'm not going to lie, it's pointing to a trajectory right now towards some like negative energy, but it's also indicating the potential for joy and happiness and harmony if you can basically focus on that. And once you find out what the negative energy is that these cards are representing in your personal life, really what you want to do is kind of poke around at that until you can feel better about it. That's how you essentially transmute your energy and recreate your reality as you see fit, as the Magician card here indicates, and is even more of a sign that you have the ability to do this month. Like, look at whatever it is that's bothering you and try to look at it in a different way, or try to feel better about it in some way. And don't like pretend that you feel better when you don't, but really work at it with your thoughts. Think the thoughts that help you to come into a state of acceptance of it, or looking at the bright side of it, or trying to make peace with it in some way, and so that you're able to then feel your optimism and joy again. And that's really what you do. That's like the Magician card itself. And so that is always my advice, more or less, for dealing with these sorts of situations. So with that, that is about it, Taurus. I hope you have enjoyed, and I hope you have a great month indeed. And remember, recreate anything you want as you see fit. Like the Magician, you have the ability to do that. This has been a tarot forecast for the sign of Taurus for the month of July 2017 from Poetic Heretic. Don't forget to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.